actually, we weren't live. That was my mistake. We weren't live. We are now live.
Yes,
There's
okay,
one more
great
button
stuff.
to press.
Hello everyone,
Hello,
nice
everyone.
to
We
see
are now
you.
live, yes.
We're
There's
live.
one more button that I hadn't pressed. So we are now very much live. We are very much with you. So hopefully you can just let us know that the quality is looking good your side. I had a little test run this afternoon, and I don't want to interrupt Tim because I know you're all listening to Tim, and he's got far more important things to say to me. As we weren't live a minute ago, I haven't got audio. I'm just watching pictures, but Marcus is listening.
Yeah, and he's just said we're going to go talk about Mac now.
Ah, so they're bringing the Macs out early. I wonder if I can have a little bit of volume.
What is this, M3 Mac update?
Well, this will be interesting to see because they've been talking about the M2, well, a MacBook Air 15-inch. So they've gone straight into Macs. Okay, they're going with the hardware first then.
Yeah, the chips.
Good old John Turnus. A year ago today, he said, Mac Pro, but that's for another day. His most famous quote.
Yeah. I just hope the headset doesn't have a notch. That would kill me.
Yeah. Apple's little nod to their phone, of course, yeah. Maybe they'll have the island on there as well. So people,
Well,
the dynamic island popping up on the front of the screen. Hello, Mike Garner, by the way, and Arena. Hello to you. You're in first. Lovely to see you.
Here it is. Here's that Mac that we just talked about. The 15-inch. There it is.
So is it 15-inch with M2 or M3? Have they said yet?
M2, because he said it's a new product for that line.
I see Apple have got over 500,000 people watching. So it's 15-inch. So the body is pretty much the same as the one that I've got here. It's last year's design. They haven't made any major changes design-wise, have they?
It's MacBook Air, yeah.
So the thing I'm most interested to learn is if they've got M3 in there. So I guess now we're going to get some flesh on the bones as to what's going on. I'm going to turn up just a little bit so I can try and have an idea what she's talking about without interfering with the streams much. Hopefully you guys won't be able to hear it.
Just the normal kind of, it's thin, here's the ports.
It looks like there isn't any extra ports, is there? It's still just the two USB-Cs by the looks.
You can see their new backgrounds as well, which is quite cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's exactly the same as last year's. The reason that I thought they would bring this out today was because this is quite an easy one to announce, isn't it? There's nothing majorly new to it. They can cover it quite quickly, say when it's going to be available from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then they can begin to move on to, because obviously we know they've got to cover the iOS as well. It's weird, isn't it? We're going through all of this and all we want is one thing to be spoken about. We're all here just for the one thing.
Just that one.
No matter what. And normally, you know, when they announce iOS,
just a little bit of it.
Yeah, I know. You and I had a quick word this morning about that, didn't we? I mean, we know there are physical sets there,
that would be in
headsets there, but yeah, I hope they give us something on stage.
No, for sure, it's getting announced today. They wouldn't invite all of the XR media and all of this kind of stuff, set up things to trial if they weren't. It might be that you have to be a developer to get hold of it for any amount of time.
Have they said the chip yet? Oh no.
I think it's M2. I think it's just like another laptop with M2.
See, then I don't know. I was going to buy one to review on the channel, but then I don't know what there is really to review because it's exactly the same Mac I've got, just with a larger screen. Yeah. So I don't see there's an awful lot for me to.
Yeah, if the performance is the same.
Exactly. So
it is a better performance. I don't know. Maybe we just missed the M3. Did someone in the chat? Did they catch that or no?
Yeah, what M2 have they put in there? They won't have put an M2.
No, all of the Macs.
Yeah, this is M2. But I can't believe they would have put in an M2 Max or anything silly in it. It doesn't warrant it.
Oh, no.
And they've got to think about the price as well. Because the thing is, this will get the back-to-school market as well, which is the important thing. It's weird to think that this whole video, this file, is sitting somewhere in the world, ready to play out.
I bet you that's under some heavy lock and key, that's for sure.
Wouldn't you believe it, yeah. Wouldn't you believe it?
have a single cable coming out the room to output. Oh yeah, see, M2, there it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But it says it's up to 12% off than an Intel-based Mac.
Yeah. So, yeah, as I say, I was going to get it, but I don't see that there's really an awful lot of point in me buying it. I can't see that there's much in there that's going to really... The M2... 500 nits of brightness, that's the same brightness. 18 hours of battery life is the same. 8 core, 10 core. Yeah, I don't see...
Yeah, you're right. They're
Yeah.
doing $11.99 for education.
Yeah, yeah. It fits in perfectly for that. So will they do... So now the chance we've got to talk about is an Ultra, a Mac Studio or Mac Pro. I wonder.
I think Studio, because it doesn't, like, I think basically they just shot themselves in the foot when they released the Studio, because it's everything the Mac Pro is, just without the modularity in that full sense.
Yeah.
I think Apple prefer that. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Might
Yeah.
be a small... Oh, here.
So M2, right, yeah, so you've still got the M1, which they're still keeping going with, surprised me, and then the 13-inch M2 and the 15-inch M2. Okay, so what else are we getting?
Mac Studio.
You're about, I think you're about 30 seconds ahead of me,
I think I might be, yeah.
so you're getting the good stuff first. You can call it out. Hello, Mike the gamer, the legendary gamer. So yeah, they're going to upgrade the Mac Studio then. See, if they're doing the Studio, I can't see that they do the Pro as well. That makes no sense, does it? That
Yeah.
makes no
Well,
sense at all.
I don't think so.
And we've waited this long for it. Now, surely, the Mac Studio would also buy them some time, particularly if they put an Ultra in there, because that will give it the most powerful Mac, and they can then wait for the M3 to come out and actually get the Mac Pro with the M3 in. But good old Turnus, he's head of hardware, I believe.
Yeah, it's getting the M2 Max.
M2 Max, right?
I didn't know this, but apparently they just said that they use Mac Studio to broadcast Saturday Night Live.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, apparently.
A program from which many comedians have started their career.
Man, that thing's gonna with
Yeah,
M2
see that,
Max in there.
I wonder what money it's going to come in at. I wonder how much faster I'd find it than my M1 Max MacBook Pro.
I bet you quite a considerable amount.
Because the only time this ever struggles is when I'm putting in a lot of heavy After Effects work. That's the only time this slows down, when I'm putting those layers on a video. The Ultra then, obviously, is it? Ultra, yeah. Geez, that is going to be fast. That is going to be crazy fast.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's gone up to 850,000 people are watching this now.
It's a lot of
Live.
people.
Good grief.
It'll be over 1 million by the end of it. As soon as the headset pops up
Yeah.
on screen, it's going to jump.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
I think this is incredible work from Apple, to be honest. This kind of custom silicon. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but at the same time, it takes a lot of work to get this kind of thing done. But it just makes sense. I love the fact that they can put this chip across all their products, and then you just get that power. Kind of just turns products into form factors, which I think makes sense moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I imagine this will be made available pretty quickly, because it's the same chassis. It is just putting the chip in and they're ready to go, aren't they?
Yeah. Here it comes.
Are cracking through.
Oh, yeah. Ultra is on Mac Studio as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is going to be the most powerful by a long way, isn't it?
Wow, 50% faster processing for video.
Oh, thank you, Mike. He's liking my work and your work. He's loving the renders as well. Yeah, Marcus and I have formed a good little team this year.
Thank you, Mike. We've just had fun doing them, to be honest.
That's the thing. We just bounce ideas around, something crops up, and the next minute I know he's created some more renders, I make a video, and Bob's drunk, we're off, and it's been
there
fun,
it is. Yeah. It's been great. We're glad you like them, though. I mean, or else we wouldn't do it, so that's great news.
So, Mike, if the headset is, if we're told it's available in, say, October, are you going to be putting your name down? Are you going to be buying one? If they as and when they do come out, Marcus and I are promising to get together and make a video in person together about it. That's a little pinky promise we've made today to one another, so that will happen.
If we can afford it. Of course.
Yeah, after you bought that.
I have to sell my leg.
Yeah. After you've taken the avatar picture, obviously, so you look good on your FaceTime on the headset. I'm tempted with I would be tempted with the studio, but interested where it comes in at. It's going to be what, 3.7?
What I find interesting is, like, you know, if this performance is coming from like the M3 chip, the M2 chip.
Yeah.
I just think, like, if they can shrink it down for the future into the headset, like, can we get this kind of pro performance? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all iterative now because we're at such a great point of speed anyway that everything they're bringing out now, it's kind of, it was a switch to Apple Silicon that was the big one, wasn't it? After that, I mean, we're just being spoilt and baffled now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So we were wrong. Mac Pro also gets an M2 Ultra?
That looks very like your render.
Well, I did base it off their render, so.
Oh, so.
But for a sec, I was like, no, it's not mine.
Yeah, no, I was looking at that as well. They haven't credited you. Now, funny enough, Hartley on Mac Rumors today, he was tweeting, what's the odds they bring out the Mac Pro? And I started saying, no, not a chance. It really can't happen.
We just said, but look at that. But I wonder what the benefit of buying this over the studio.
Yeah. And also, the modularity.
Graphics card?
Yeah, you can obviously hear better than me, Marcus. So that's what, obviously, the Mac Pro is famed for its modularity, isn't it?
Every Mac Pro has afterburner performance built in, they're saying.
Right.
7 afterburner performances in one, apparently. So I guess they're focusing on this being an audio and video machine then.
Yeah, that's just what I was about to say. It's clearly based more on even video. I mean, clearly with that, I mean...
apparently you can...
Media engine.
What was that?
I'm assuming they won't announce a new display as well today. That would really spoil us if they bring another new display out at the same time. That would just be too much.
Yeah, I mean, they've just added more ports on the back as well. PCI expansion.
Is it PCI? They got PCI
expansion?
Yeah,
they've got PCI expansion in there now.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Jesus, that is...
It's extensive.
Yeah, you can feel the money coming out of it, can't you?
Oh, I mean,
there's a PCI.
I really think that professional studios, I think Mac Studio gives like your kind of amateur professional the ability to get into the performance of Ultra, but then for the pros who want that customizability, the ability to add in all these extra cards for peripherals and things that they use, this makes a lot of sense, and also the price point. Cool. Well,
so we've had
I'm glad they haven't killed it.
MacBook Air. So far, what we're 15 minutes in, we've had a MacBook Air, a Mac Studio, and a Mac Pro.
2 Mac Studios and a Mac Pro, yeah.
That's not a bad rate, is it? And this is only the entree. This is just the teaser.
Yeah.
So Gurman, it turns out, was spot on.
Oh, they're both available today.
Ah. 1999 from. Okay, so what's that from?
Are they going to be like, and here's a new product into the Pro line?
So the Pro's starting from 7,000, available next week.
Oh, is that jumped up in price? It was 4,500 or 5,000 before.
Yeah, it's more expensive.
They're saying it's
yeah.
never been a better time to switch to a Mac class.
So obviously now that's every Mac is on Apple Silicon now. They've done their job, haven't they? That's that elephant off his back, because I'd say that was his famous quote last year, and everyone's been quoting him since.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay. So I wonder where they go after that. Because we assume it's going to be something probably just over
Mac
2 hours.
OS, maybe?
Yeah, they've got to get into the OS next, I'd have thought.
Software platforms he's talking about.
It amazes me that with the filming of this and so on, they keep everything so locked down. And also, I know you and I said that the fact that they've kept everything away from the media to do with the headset, there hasn't been a single bona fide leak. You know, you think of the run up to the iPhone, there's always something coming out. This has been a complete shutdown, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
they didn't start production just so that there wasn't any tooling or anything that could give it away.
Okay, so we're getting. Oh, here he comes.
iOS 17.
Craig's out. Yeah, so this is
His
what.
hair's still looking great.
And this, of course, is generally what WWDC is most famed for. Of course, is the iOS. That's generally the big part of the show, isn't it? And this year, it's kind of like almost a side runner. It's very much a
Well,
correlation.
you say that, but if we do get the headset, then really we're looking at a whole new platform to be able to for developers to work on. So it makes a lot of sense that
Mm.
they would have it here.
So I wonder if there's going to be any changes to FaceTime that would pertain to what we're going to be getting with the headset at all.
Hmm.
Because I don't.
Maybe.
We've been told that all of the software changes are going to be fairly minor this year. So personalised contact photos. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Added new texts, things like this.
Yeah. So so the emojis clearly are improved from last year by the looks.
Memojis? I think it's just the. Oh yeah, because he did. There was a Memoji wallpaper there, right? That's cool. And it also showed like his upper body. I didn't know if they did that before.
No, I don't think they did. Which is a good clue, a good pickup. Yeah, because obviously that's one of the things that we think is coming to
That will be
FaceTime.
like the new character. I really hope it's not Memoji based, but I kind of understand as well because getting photoreal is extremely hard,
That'd
and
be a
you
huge amount of
getting
data as well, wouldn't it?
it would, but getting there's something called the uncanny valley, which is like this when you get close to reality, it feels odd to us if it's not exact, and I think they at least the last time anyone knew about anything about it, they were to Uncanny Valley, and it wasn't photoreal. So I wonder if they didn't like find out how to do it before this. Be interesting.
And Arena, yes, you missed the air. It did know the air. It was the first thing they mentioned. There is a 15-inch M2 MacBook Air, all the same ports, looks exactly the same as the current M2 that I've got here, the MacBook Air I've got here, just with the 15-inch screen, and I think it's
15 inch,
available in a couple of weeks' time. And I think the price is about $12.99. So I think I might say, but it has already been announced.
Yeah, and it was $11.99 for education pricing.
Right. So obviously now, obviously if you're watching live with us, as you know, they're talking about phone iOS at the moment and what's coming in.
Have you seen this? It's doing live translation of phone calls.
Oh wow! Transcripting
And FaceTime?
in real time.
Oh,
Wow.
you can if you call someone on FaceTime and they don't have if they're not available, you can leave them like a video message basically,
Yeah.
like a video voicemail.
Yeah. The whole text-based thing is coming on so quickly. I mean, in video editing this year, it's become a real buzzword, and seeing now, obviously, Apple are putting it into iOS as well.
Hmm.
So obviously, we're on to the messages now, aren't we?
A more powerful and precise search filters.
We knew they were going to have to give this good time because clearly iOS is their biggest software update of the year, isn't it? You know, it's bigger than Mac, it's bigger than iPad. This is the one that everybody waits for and uses all the time. So iOS is incredibly important to them.
Absolutely, and there's no guarantee this headset's going to be a hit or even something that is mass market within the next kind of 3 years. So they still have to put a really heavy emphasis. And also, there's something to consider I was thinking about today, which is that even there are still going to be people who prefer flat screens and phones to these immersive technologies, you know. So I do see them creating this kind of like unified codable language where you can do both at the same time. It's going to be that for me is going to be very interesting, like how they're going to integrate this.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd be interested to know, how cohesive they make it across, how they bring their other platforms and devices into it. That's the thing that I think is going to be the most telling. So, yeah, and obviously iPhone is still their biggest earner, bar none, and it's the most. I mean, services are catching it up, admittedly, but the iPhone is still their biggest revenue earner.
Mm-hmm. So kind of like more. This is like more safety features in terms of tracking somebody where they are, or it seems like.
Yeah. So there haven't been many changes to
Check-in,
the
it's called.
home screen, then, have there, from what I can see? So obviously they always bring, I'm sure you'll know it's a familiar drill now, they bring out iOS, they announce it here, then it goes a couple of months before it's ready, there's a few betas run of it, and then it's brought out ready for the fall when the next iPhone comes out, when the 15 comes out this year. This will be ready to roll and pre-installed on, of course, if you buy a 15 brand new.
Mm.
Do you ever install betas on your gear?
No, sorry.
Not something I've ever run the risk of either, but so I'm just hopefully that's not me. So I'll just turn up a little bit so I can hear a bit more what's going on.
No worries.
Hopefully it's quiet enough that the mic's not picking up.
No, I can't hear anything.
Okay. And what's caught all your fancies out there that when you so far people watching us?
That is so interesting. So they've just introduced like this new stickers, and you can kind of like take a sticker and apply it like a real life sticker, like anywhere and any like
yes.
location.
Yeah.
And that for me is also another hint about like being able to apply stickers in reality, you know, like you
Right.
could put it anywhere.
Yep.
Because it's like this, if I've got a headset I can see my phone, like, and I've got a sticker here, you know, throwing it on a message or whatever. I just see the link between those. Maybe I'm reaching, but we'll see.
So now
So you can make really easy custom stickers basically. That's cool.
so to make it much more personalizing again.
That's
I see.
amazing. It just literally just cut like a little mini video turned into a GIF and cut out into a sticker that moves. Incredible.
Did Google announce something similar to that at I/O? I seem to think they had something a little similar to it.
Not 100% sure. But again, this is stuff that's like based on the Metal engine that like picks things out, which is all needed for the headset for like occlusion and subject separation, everything like that.
And yep, it's over 1 million views now. The live stream from Apple.
Shame they can't advertise.
So that's iOS covered, is it? Yep.
A bit of it, yeah. Let's see. AirDrop.
I love AirDrop. It went through a bit of a glitchy phase. It wasn't working so well for me, but with the latest updates, it's been absolutely fantastic. I use it so much.
It got better, yeah.
So
like swapping mobile numbers over.
Via AirDrop.
You can. They've done something called name drop, where you just bring phones together, and it swaps your contact infos.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a neat feature.
That is cool. But I'm pretty sure that there was a company that did this like many years ago. It was called like Card. I can't remember, but you basically tapped your phones together and it would do it.
Because of course they've been doing that with payments recently as well, where you can accept payments, can't you, with the phone? So they're obviously very much working on the whole touch technology now and the transfer technology. So AirDrop's becoming much quicker, much more powerful, more integrated. Silly question, would that work at all with Reality Pro? Would you be able to drag and drop from a Mac onto a virtual screen? I guess you would, right?
Yeah. That like for instance, I forgot what it's called now. Is it called? You know that thing where you can like drag from your iPad to your Mac and then to your
universal
phone?
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine it will work in similar ways to that, but just through the headset.
SharePlay you've talked about. I know we've spoken about SharePlay and how that would integrate. From an entertainment point of view, that would clearly work.
Look at this text input. It's interesting. They're kind of doing like some of the pre-work for the headset before they show it.
Yeah, I got a feeling that was obviously the way they were going to put this together. Was if we look for the little clues and Easter eggs through the presentation, it's all gearing up towards it, isn't it? It's all that one drive to where we're going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
And still think about that intro. That was such a great intro they created for this as well.
Nice one, yeah.
So we're half hour in
Okay,
already.
they're improving autocorrect.
Yep. Which has been getting better. I've noticed it's been noticeably better. It is improving. Oh, so I see that it's learning every time you. So AI is working in the background, learning your. Guess
But
words you use regularly and spellings you use regularly.
but also I think they just have a vast amount of data about how people type and what they correct or what they don't, and I
Right.
think they've probably just improved their algorithm when it comes to this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know, but they did like when they first did the keyboard, they did like this sprint, on the
Hmm.
design and how it would work. And it was one guy who created it, and basically the idea was it's really hard to hit the key that you want. So he takes a probability from the area that you hit, and then combines that with the other ones to take the most probable word. It's really clever.
I mean, it seems to me that there's more changes in iOS 17 than we had been led to believe. Everything I'd read was very much saying that there's going to be very little new in it, but it looks like there's a reason amount in there to unpack and have a look at.
I wonder if that's. I hope it's not because they're like wanting you to use your iPhone as like a keyboard when you're in the headset, or
Oh,
is better as well, because because you were going to hit the wrong keys more. I,
because you've
I,
got the glasses on.
yeah. I would much prefer voice or some other form of.
Because, of course, recently, in the last couple of weeks, they put out all those new features that were very much AI based for people with that maybe were going to be losing the ability to speak and so on. And so they've been very heavily influenced by trying to get learning going and looking to make iPhone, well, also going down the health route and looking after people very inclusively. Oh, of course, the journal falls into that as well. That's been rumored. This journal for journaling every day to reflect your moods and reflect what's going on.
Mm, hmm hmm
I don't journal. I know many people do. It's not something I've ever got into, but I think for people that are into keeping a journal, this would obviously be a big one for them.
hmm
Right? Yeah. Yeah, they have made a lot more changes, and this is obviously just iOS 17. I don't know how much time they're going to give to iPad. One would assume that would come next, and then I'll get into watch.
And Mac OS. I mean, I wonder if it's
Yeah,
going to be the first hour is all of the softwares and the last hour is
that would make some
headset.
sense. Yeah, the way they're rounding it at the moment. Yeah.
Keeping my fingers crossed.
Because the whole idea that we first had of putting this stream together was so that you could see mine and particularly Marcus' reaction to when we first see the screen first goes round to it, capture our reactions forever as to what it actually
Yeah.
it looks like, and well, of course, how close the renders have been. And Marcus said all along, look, there's got to be a little bit of artistic license here that it might not be
A huge
exactly
amount of
as per.
artistic license. Yeah. Like I said, under promise, over deliver.
But everyone's saying it is going to be super thin, aren't they? I mean, that again.
Apparently, the information released in the article over the thickness of an iPhone. And when I did my concept, I did put the tech stack in there. I had the
Mm,
lens distance, I had the right screen, I had space in front of that for the other technology, and that is what I came out to. It would mean that Apple would have to pack this thing full of tech around all the edges, but if you look at anything like Apple Watch, we know they do that already.
mm-hmm.
So I'm quietly optimistic that it will be that thin, but we'll see. Maybe they've hidden more thickness in the face gasket, the thing that goes around your face
Yep, that
here.
seals it. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I think might be what they've done. So we're just seeing like a vertical,
Ah, yes,
like
this
you.
was spoken about so that it's almost when you've got it docked in a vertical position, it's giving you more home kind of information. It's becoming more integral to the smart home now.
Yeah, it becomes your bedside clock, which I think, this is an easy win. They should have done this a long time ago. Apple Watch does this.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Just a nice little win.
That is a neat feature. Whether you've got it, as you say, on the bedside table, whether you've got it in the living room, it's just sitting there. Not only is it charging, but it's also giving you relevant information.
Hmm.
That's, as you say, overdue. And, you know, that looks nice. That I do like the look of.
It does. Now, Apple don't make their own vertical stand like that. I'd be interested to see if they would ever release one. I don't think
Yeah,
so,
because
though.
generally it's always Belkin is their go-to partner, isn't it?
Or Saytech, I think, yeah. Oh, so you can have like app updates on there as well. That's quite cool. So, like, say you just have your phone charging and you have ordered some food. It's kind of like a little mission control doc
Right.
of what's happening there. Hmm.
Oh, almost like a live tracker kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is something kind of brought in last year with Dynamic Island, wasn't it? And obviously they're now
Yeah.
pulling that out further. I like the look at that.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know what's really funny? One of my favorite one of my favorite Apple Watch faces was the one on the Ultra, the red one that's designed specifically for low light and dark conditions. I really wanted that. That was so beautiful. Such a shame they didn't make that available for everyone. Mm.
Oh, they're dropping it good, so the command. Right,
Yeah,
so they've managed
because
to drop that.
yeah, and again, this is like another one of those things where it's like something for the headset, right? You don't want
Yeah.
to have to say 2 words every time you want to activate Siri because you're going to be using it a lot more. So it's just kind of like, can you do this, Siri? And then it will recontextualize everything it just heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're not using a command straight off the bat. You're actually, as you say, putting it into context and putting a question to it.
Yeah.
And
Apple
apparently
have
that's
built up enough trust with privacy-wise, you know, when it
yeah,
comes to this, to do that.
and apparently that was very, very hard to do because, of course, it's got a lot less characters. It's got half as many characters to recognise voices and accents. So it's been very, very hard to engineer that.
Hmm. Again, it's a data game, right?
Winter Craig's.
That was a bit of a
bit.
funny run in there. Did you see
I'm
that?
assuming he's running in somewhere, isn't he? You can't just run off screen. I'm assuming he's going to run back in somewhere. Here we go. Oh, and he's into so we're into iPad OS, as we kind of thought. So I guess then after this they'll run through
Mac OS.
Mac and Watch, I guess, and I don't think TV will get a look in today. So I wonder if they're going to make any mention of what they released recently with the 2 Pro apps with Logic and Final Cut now being there.
Hmm. I need to watch your video on that actually. But TDLR for the iPad app, was it good? Is it bad?
Yeah, I mean, actually, that was more covered in the podcast with Alex on. So that he's used Final Cut and he was a little disappointed that you can only go so far with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Widget and lock screen for iPad. Oh. I love this this kind of like twist of jokes they're doing with him. It's great. Watch, you're about to see it. They should lean into that big style. This kind of like meta.
They love memeing. I
commentary is
mean,
great.
this is he's always a star of the show at WWDC, isn't he? They've leaned, as you say, they've leaned into making him such a character.
Yeah, like, why is he not the next CEO? I know
do
Tim
not know.
Tim wants to step down, right? Makes sense. He's definitely got that, like, he is Apple in a human package, you know?
He's got that charisma
Yeah.
that can make it sing and pop. I mean, you just remember him and you remember what he's done. You remember everything about him. You know, Cook is very much the businessman, not necessarily charisma-filled. I mean, he's driven the business brilliantly, and that's his strength. But good old Craig has got that showman style.
Hmm.
But this is really his one time a year. You don't really see Sight and Sound apart from WWDC, do you? He never changes either. Never changes, never ages.
Whatever food he's eating, I wanted to. Oh, that Apple Money buys you some amazing things, doesn't it?
Skincare for starters.
Several doctors, one for each part of your body. Ah, cool. So some more like kind of lock screen things, a kaleidoscope, dynamic kaleidoscope.
I think our streams are catching up a little bit. Actually, I was only about 10 seconds behind you there, so.
Good stuff.
Are you an iPad user?
I am not. It's been a bit of a funny one. I have a MacBook and I absolutely love it, and it got me through uni and all of this. But after I moved into doing kind of professional rendering and industrial design, I needed a really large computer, and it needed, for the price for what you get for upgradability, PC is the way to go.
Hmm.
But what I have been looking for is kind of like a mobile workstation that will give me a kind of usable power.
Hmm.
But I can't get that from iPad. I think it would need to be a MacBook Pro probably. I doubt I'm going to get that functionality out of the headset as much as I wish, but maybe that will be second or third gen. Ah, something else
So,
interesting I heard, by the way, just
mm,
about the headset.
yep.
Apparently, they're not only going to be releasing a lower cost version, but also, like this is a Pro, but they're going to release a Max.
Oh, so an
Uh,
even more premium version.
yeah, apparently they've got a novel tech for this headset that isn't completely there yet, but they're going to perfect it for those ones.
Right.
Um, this was from Robert Scoble and Arena, so I don't know, but we'll see. I don't think we'll see any of that today though, but just a
Hmm.
thought.
Hmm. So this looks like it's
Oh, it's funny.
again it's live updates it's bringing, isn't it? Oh, and time is right. So you've got multiple timers now. It seems so
Oh,
far behind, doesn't
yeah,
it?
God, it drives me nuts that sometimes at least he didn't take it too seriously there. He was like, "Oh, what a world we live in," as in, like, "Yeah, I know, we should have done this earlier," but never mind. That's cool. So you've kind of got like a health, what do you call that? Board,
Yep. Oh, I'm just seeing it now. Yep.
like a hot page, so you can see everything in one
So it's
place. Yeah.
bringing your fitness in as well. So again, they're making health. I mean, health's been since the Apple Watch has taken off so much.
Yeah.
Health has been and fitness workouts have been a massive, massive boom for
Massive,
Apple.
massive, and I love this ambient health sensing stuff, and I
Hmm.
know that Apple will just continue to release more products that will do this. I know, for instance, they've got a ring or a band and things like this in the works that will just be there to gather more health points that will add into their other products.
Yeah, I was quite late to the Apple Watch party. I only got my first one last year, but I've been such a convert to it. It has changed things about just during the day when it reminds you to stand up and silly little things like that. It's just the prompt that you need.
I use one as well, but you know what's really funny? I take off all notifications from emails, everything like that. I
Hmm.
like it for its health. I like being able to interact with it for music, use it for cards, but I can't stand it vibrating all the time on my wrist. Drives me nuts.
The one that took me some getting used to is when I'm using Apple Maps in the car, and the wrist is constantly vibrating for turning left, turning right,
Mm.
do this, all the time.
You would think safety-wise, right? They
Yeah,
wouldn't do that.
yeah. It because when it first started doing it, it took me some getting used to. I was wondering what the hell's going on. The fact they're editing PDFs as quickly as this is a good thing as well. Yeah, being able to add signatures to
Mm.
PDFs.
Yeah, I mean they're just like encroaching on Adobe's territory and stuff, right?
Mm.
It makes sense. Like no one wants to have to switch between softwares,
No,
like
the
for
longer you can stay on one native platform,
yeah.
clearly it's got to be better, hasn't it? Clearly it's the way
Hmm.
forward.
I guess this just comes from like a data point that basically says that the majority of any kind of notes that anyone writes, the first place they go to is notes.
Hmm.
So it makes sense to kind of empower that, right?
Yep, it's one of the apps I use an awful lot. Not to the degree they're shown there, because if I'm doing design work, obviously I do go to InDesign. That's like you've got professional programs. That's what I would turn to. But I do use notes. I use reminders an awful lot. I mean, I do heavily lean into the what Mac and the ecosystem has got to offer. But editing
Hmm.
PDFs, clearly that's a hugely important step forward.
Massive, massive.
The Apple Pencil is one of the few reasons I think I might get serious about iPad. Actually, I've never been a big user of one. Like you, I can't really see where it fit into my workflow. But
Yeah. For sketching, I mean, I would love to use one, but I know it's amazing, the Apple Pencil, and I know a lot of people like it, but
mhm.
is it anything? I'm not sure it could ever replace just a pen and pencil. The fidelity that I get, the feedback, you know what I mean?
Mm, mm. So we've had iOS, iPad OS,
macOS. What's your prediction for names? What about chat? What do they think?
Yeah, because I think it was 14 names that they trademarked, and they tend to
Mm.
have bigger names, stronger names for the big updates, and then more genteel sounding names for smaller updates.
Mm.
So,
Because the headset's codenamed Sunburst or something like that, isn't it?
oh, I hadn't seen that.
And yeah, well, is there a sunburst state? I mean,
Yeah,
I've basically read it could be Arizona or Montana. I'm not
right.
sure. But they also said they were going to do about 10 years of the naming convention of around California.
Hmm.
So maybe it's time for them to move on to another naming convention. But if they've trademarked those names, I don't think it's this year.
Yeah, apparently that was one of the. I made a short about it a few months ago. Apparently they have already got some names locked down ready.
Here comes Mac.
Yeah. Even these icons they're using on the transitions are all very lens oriented, aren't they?
Yes, I mean, Apple's game is consistency, right?
Yeah. So,
Here we go. Here comes the name.
you're going to hear it just before me.
Yeah. Let's see if I was right.
Because the recent Mac OS has worked.
It's a vineyard-based wine region.
Yeah.
Oh, Sonoma.
Sonoma. Nobody. I've not seen that name.
I did see it, but it was one of the ones that they've trademarked, but everyone was like, nah, it's not going to be that.
So I wonder what they're going to make the headline feature. I mean, those icons they got there, look, I mean...
I find it funny that the first thing they show on Mac OS is new screensavers, but Hong Kong... it looks like they've done like 4K drone shots that are
which
moving really
is
slow.
what they do on Apple TV. And they are gorgeous on Apple TV.
Yeah, they are gorgeous. I will give them
Stunning.
that, yeah. Oh, remember, you know the concept I did about what is wallpapers like on the headset? This kind of like immersive wallpapers. I wonder if they've got like that kind of drone footage, like I talked about, this overview effect,
That would
where
be
like
well.
you're just floating through.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
I wonder how long ago this was filmed. I wonder how long this has all been locked down for.
Maybe a month, but you have to like they work right up until the deadline. So
You
there
just
was
think the people
probably
that are
some.
working on this, when they go home at night, do they just not say a word to their other halves? Is it?
And no, they literally can't. Like I know a little bit about this. You
How's it
sign
work?
an NDA.
Right.
You're not allowed to speak to literally anyone. You can't even speak to some of the teams that are adjacent to you in the company.
Yep.
You have a list of people you're allowed to talk to about it, and that's it in certain places. You cannot talk to your spouses about what you're doing,
Wow.
basically.
So I suppose also
Eh,
no, not to
I mean,
ask.
this is at the high levels. Like I know that that's the case for the ID team, but I don't know if
Right.
it's for everyone. But I know that their NDAs are ridiculously heavy, and it's just not worth your life to say anything.
So then, the other big one, of course, we've got to get to is watch as well. So this would definitely trip over the hour by the time we talked about Mac and watch.
Maybe he's gone pretty fast.
It has gone very fast, but then I suppose really we've got through the Macs, we've got through the iOS. It would be
Last year this took 2 hours, so
yeah, very good point. Yeah, because last year we got the MacBook Air, didn't we? Last year the Mac Studio and Studio Display came out in spring. We didn't have a spring event this year, so. Yeah, I mean, they are cracking through it at a pace. Well, I mean, to get 3 Macs out of the way in 15 minutes, as pretty much they did, showed how much they had to get through. They're really going heavily into widgets, aren't they?
I wonder why that is. That's amazing. So basically, you took some photos that were on your desktop, it applied filters that you had in another software as you dragged them into an email. I think that's what was happening there. Which is just insane.
I still use Mac Mail. I know a lot of people moan about it, but the only thing I don't like about Mac Mail is its searchability. But other than that, I still like Mac Mail. Okay, so gaming. So they're obviously beginning to try and soften the way now.
This is a little bit what I... Yeah, you see? It's just exactly what I was talking about. There
So
it is.
what they just linked into, what they just said.
They just basically they said that there's now millions of Macs that are capable of running games and high-end content, which provides a very exciting opportunity for developers, which is exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, because then, as you said, it means that there's enough reason for people to begin to develop AAA games, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big enough market now for them to justify the costs.
Yeah.
And also, if you're able to develop for the M2 and it's a short way away from, like, say, if you develop it for the laptop, but then you do some small I mean, not small, but there will be some adjustments to make, you probably just get that into the headset fairly easily. And so then you've got multiple markets, you know, because you could also do asymmetric gaming where you have some people play on a flat screen and some people play in the headset together.
Do you game much yourself? Do you have enough time to game?
I don't do like the normal PlayStation or anything anymore, but there is a couple games on the VR headset that I just adore, and one of them is called Population One. It's like it just brings me back to my Call of Duty days. It's a bit like Fortnite but in VR. And I never played Fortnite, but this is one of the most fun games I've ever played. And if I can have 10 minutes a day, you know, it's a good time. Also, like, I find it so hard to go back to traditional games after playing VR. Like, even though like the graphics in the games are, like on the standalone headsets are just like arcadey, it's just so much more fun, so much more immersive, so much more social that I just can't go back to traditional games anymore. I've been spoiled. See, Kojima Productions, amazing.
Which you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
You said they were going to be there, didn't you?
Yeah. What we've been working on for the Mac, Death Stranding, maybe Metal Gear Solid.
Well, at least I'm up to the best of you now. I can read. I've been struggling to try and keep like one ear vaguely on the stream and seeing what they're talking about. But at least now we're on subtitles. I can read.
Yes, I was going to say yes. Just do that for the rest. That was great. Yes, there it is. Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Amazing. That I don't. I did play this. I mean, he's a genius. He's a literal genius. I mean, he created the whole stealth genre of games, and he then wanted to make a new genre which was about connection instead of separation. Like, instead of shooting and killing people all the time in games, you actually get like it's actually better to play the game without that, and it's all about creating connections between people and bonds instead of that.
Yeah.
And you do that by it's essentially a walking simulator. You're Amazon. You carry packages in this world from place to place to help people because it's become disconnected. I don't know if you play games yourself, but it's incredible. It's beautiful.
I've missed the game market so badly. I don't know why. At school, it never caught on with me. A lot of my friends were playing the basic games of the day then. I just never got into it. You know, you kind of miss that early wave. You don't catch up. For some reason, gaming and me just never got on. I would love to have got into even like F1 gaming and things like that, but I haven't.
Maybe now's your time when the headset comes up. That's very cool.
This guy, as you say, is an absolute genius.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like the complexity that goes into his games. You're just like, how has such a small team built this? And it's just inventive, like just endlessly inventive. Like, when you think about Apple's term of think different, Hideo Kojima is one of their profiles. Video conferencing.
Right. Which is obviously something that will focus very heavily when it comes to the headset. And we're still thinking at the moment Reality Pro. That seems to be the most favoured name, doesn't it?
I did actually see something today that it might be Apple XR.
The name of the headset?
Yeah. Could be Apple Extended Reality or Apple XR. It could
go with the XROS then, that they'll be talking about as a software.
But Apple XR, Apple Reality or Reality Pro or Apple Vision are my namings. Oh wow, did you
Wow,
see that?
I
You can
did.
present behind you. That's so cool. But again, this is just all set up for the headset. Like, if you've
Yeah,
got a character and you've got a thing to present here, amazing.
because of course they were showing that with Final Cut, weren't they? That one of the things Final Cut on iPad had was the background remover, and that's kind of very similar to what you're being able to do there.
Mhm.
So they obviously worked on that technology. Now they're running it more system wide.
Mhm.
That is cool.
Safari. I actually really dig Safari. I kind of want it on my PC. I just love its simplicity.
It does, yeah. I mean, I have to use Chrome for a couple of things. What we're doing now is one of them because Riverside only works on Chrome. Um, and when I'm uploading to YouTube, there's a couple of plugins that I use that as browser plugins that Safari just doesn't run. Um, but I like Safari. It seems pretty lean. It's not power hungry,
Mhm.
and it's good. It's robust. It does its job.
Yeah, I mean that's a big thing about Chrome, right? You open it up and half your RAM's gone.
Yeah, I'm surprised you've been able to get away with it for so long because
I
everybody says
know.
that about Chrome. I know it's the
It's
most popular
like
browser, bar none, but
for me, it just feels like they're just using your PC for like cloud processing. You know, like 80% is their cloud processing, 20% is local.
so yeah, they're working.
I love this. This for me is like totally the direction Apple should go in terms of like protecting yourself, privacy,
Privacy,
like
yeah.
blocking all like simple like their products simplify life. Why shouldn't they also simplify your online life?
Hmm.
And I think that's part of the track that they're taking with this, you know?
Of
That's
course,
cool.
and yes, because they're rolling out the passkeys further, aren't they now?
Yeah, so you can share it with profiles.
Yeah. And again, end-to-end encryption is, as you say, it ties in beautifully to their privacy
Hmm.
mantra as well. It's really fun doing this. In other years, I've just sat at home and watched WWDC alone on the sofa. So to be able to do it in the company of all you guys is really cool.
I know, it's very nice. I would be doing the same. Actually, back when I was at uni, we all used to love this, and we
Yeah,
used to all
it's the
get
big one,
together
isn't
to
it?
watch it. That was some good times.
I actually prefer this one to the phone event. It's just got more to it, hasn't it? I'm not saying the phone
I
event
do.
is a one-trick pony, but it's kind of the phone, and that's more or less it. There's nothing really else to look forward to. But in this, there's always so much to take in.
Hmm. I love these videos. I love the fact that you can make an extremely concise message with them, but I do kind of miss that like that palpable kind of energy
Live
that
buzz.
that came from yeah.
Do you think they'll go back to live? I mean, now there's no reason
No,
for them to
no,
do.
not even a chance. Well, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like you can control the message so much better. You can make it perfect every time.
No mistakes,
It's
yeah.
yeah,
No live foul ups.
yeah.
What have you guys made of it so far? Is WWDC delivering for you? I know we're still waiting for the big punch. I know we're waiting for that hammer blow to come. But have you been enjoying what you've been offered so far? I haven't even checked over on Twitter what's going on at the moment. I don't know how mad that's going.
No,
I'd
I,
imagine
I
it's going
don't
pretty busy, but
I don't dare open any of the tabs. So
no, I've
this
got
stays perfectly
I
fast.
have got two tabs open on Safari on the MacBook Air. I've got the stream and Twitter, and on the MacBook Pro that we're working off, I've just got Riverside open and the YouTube Studio, and that's it. And nothing. Every other app is shut down on there.
Yes, that makes sense.
So where are we heading? So
I think Watch
that's
OS
top of it.
probably
Yeah,
next.
it's Watch, which will take us just past the
I
top of
wonder
the
if they're
hour.
going to have any AirPod kind of improvements here.
Somebody said that
Yeah,
this
there it
afternoon
is.
when I was on, wondering if we're going to get some new AirPod Max because I know you and I on the video, and if you haven't watched it
Sorry,
yet.
you need to look.
Oh, he does set
Ah,
himself up beautifully.
that's great. No, that is just the best
Craig's
thing I've
moment.
seen.
You can feel the memes coming, can't you?
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Oh, I made my eyes water. It is hot in here now. Whew.
Oh, bless him. These graphics.
That's so funny. I just said AirPods and then audio popped up. That's hilarious. Because these are going to be an integral part of selling the headset as well.
Because of course you said that there is some inbuilt audio with the headset, didn't you?
Well, it does, yes, but it's never going to be as good as having something directly in your ear. I mean, or hovering over your ear. Actually, funnily enough, what I'm wearing right now, I don't know if you know these, David, the Porta Pros, COS Porta Pros. They're known for like their spatial audio, and actually, the drivers in this is what was used in the very first VR headset, the Oculus Rift CV1, because it's so good at spatial audio, because it's over the ear.
So not announced any. I saw them showing a pair of AirPods Pro there, but they've not announced anything new with them, have they?
No. So basically, he's talking about a much more improved noise cancelling, and it seems like they're doing also selective noise cancelling, so it knows when like what you should listen to.
Yeah.
Do you know something funny about this, David? One thing that, like, because they have all these health focuses and things like that, one thing I think could be a massively easy win, and it's even for me. So I have a thing where, like, I can't stand the sound of people eating. It really,
I'm with you.
Like,
I'm with you there, 100%. Yes.
It's an actual. It's called misophobia, right? And it's only just been out there, but something I use my AirPods all the time for this. I put them on noise cancelling when I'm eating with somebody else, so that it doesn't bother me, you know. And they could do that easily by having selective, you know, like block this sound.
Certain frequencies, and yeah. And the church bells ring.
Yes.
It shows at the top of an hour. Because you're now ahead of me, aren't you? So you're 8 o'clock?
No. It's Portugal and UK at the same time.
Same time. So is this a software update, or is this a new pair of AirPods Pro?
Software update, which is great because then you can apply it to your existing devices, get added benefit.
Yeah.
This is some of the best stuff. One of the best things I love about like all this AI work is that it kind of opens up the possibility to improve products after they've been released. And I know you could do that in the past before, but with things like algorithms, sound profiles, like picking things out, the typing, I think it's really exciting.
And onto HomePod.
In TV, looks like.
So actually giving Apple TV OS, which is the exact setup. I've only got one, but I have got Apple TV 4K and a HomePod that I bought at the beginning of the year, which is a really nice setup. It sounds really, really good. I never had one of the first HomePods, but I got this one when it came at the beginning of the year. I've been really happy with it. Of course, now because of course it's a single word command now as well, which is going to sound far more intuitive. It's going to sound far more friendly, isn't it? It just is rolling with the times. It's where we should be. I wrote about this. Yes, certain hotel groups are going to integrate AirPlay far better.
That's cool. So you can just connect into like hotels, Airbnbs.
Exactly that. Yep. Right. So then you can So via QR code, you can then use your devices with their.
It's curious. I wonder if that came out of the collaboration, because you know Johnny Ive left the company to start Love From, and then one of his first ever massive clients was Airbnb. So I wonder if that came out of like a collaboration with them. Like, okay, this is what we think will make hotels and Airbnb, and then they talked with Apple about it, and then they made it a feature. You know?
Yeah, because there was supposed to be certain collab between Love From and Apple when he left, wasn't it? That was part of the arrangement. That there was supposed to be some sort of work between them.
They have split though, right now? They're not a client anymore.
No, they're not. So the CarPlay.
Which I find that very interesting. I really wonder why that is.
Right, so it's integrated even further with CarPlay as well.
What I was really hoping was like some kind of like immersive walking with dinosaurs popping out the screen. I did a concept for that a while ago.
Of course you did. In your sleep, you
Yeah.
might just knock out another concept.
I
I
have
must
to
say,
say
that
though,
concept you
like
drew for the thumbnail that we did on the video last week, that looked so good.
I'm really enjoying Midjourney because it's really getting to a point where I'm able to think something and use words to get it close enough that I can communicate, which is
Hmm.
just unbelievable. You have the thumbnail that we created for today, though, right? I did like that very last update of what I
Oh,
think.
yes, yes. I haven't used that. Yeah, I used that on my blog today. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, my thoughts on that were uh, apparently I just gone a bit too glasses like on the front, and apparently it's much rounder
Hmm.
than that. Apparently the strap has like a two. I'd done plastic parts on the side here, what the soft part attached to, but apparently it's bigger, and that's where the MagSafe attaches to, right there on your
On the
left
temple.
temple.
Yeah.
Left temple.
Yeah.
I did a single strap because I think people with ponytails and things need a single strap. If it's
Hmm.
that double strap that we've been seeing
Gets
images
messy.
of,
Yeah.
it gets messy, but it really could be that. And I also updated it to remove the leather pouch I had created because I do think they're probably just going to do something similar, like a simpler, like a elastic waistband,
Hmm.
because that's a little bit better for sports and stuff, and maybe later. But I do think there'll be a case, so I'm not sure how they'll do that, but they were my thoughts. Uh, that's cool. Cool watching Apple TV with like a FaceTime, and then you can like make a heart symbol, and then it will like
Recognize it.
give that because if you're focusing on the film on the left, you can only see things out the corner of your eye, like they're enjoying this moment, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just taken from like live streams in Twitter Spaces and things like this.
FaceTime on Apple TV is a good addition. I use Apple TV all of the time now, and I hate having to use any other kind of streaming box. It's so well, the color's so good for starters, and the audio's fantastic. And now you can do
Mm-hmm.
FaceTime on it as well. It's just becoming further and further integrated into sort of. I haven't got a smart home, but using the Apple TV certainly brings me into line with it.
One of my questions is like, if they make the headset good enough, can it just like replace every Apple product? Like, you don't need an Apple TV
Certainly wouldn't Apple TV,
hardware.
would you? No.
No, you don't need if they get to 8K resolution, you don't need a studio display. You know what I mean? If you
Mm.
can do cloud processing, you don't need a MacBook.
So into watch now.
Watch. Hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else from chat, by the way?
No, it's a bit quiet at the moment. I've got to say, it was busier this afternoon. Oddly, I guess people are very queued up and watching it.
Yeah, they're
And
watching
maybe
this.
towards the end, once it's all done, then and you know we're getting your tail down because I know you've got a birthday meal to go and get to as soon as this is over. Um, but
No worries.
yeah, I'm sure at the end, once the stream is finished and we're just having a quick roundup, that people might have more to say then because there's a lot to take on. And clearly, I'm going to have to try and take this in tomorrow morning, everything that's gone on. Because after this finishes, I'm jumping on with Mac Rumors on their Twitter
Hmm.
Spaces and having a chat with them there. If you're around, they said you're more than welcome to join in as well. I did explain to them that you had a birthday meal to get to, but if you want to sneak off in the corner of the restaurant and and you wouldn't get lynched by your girlfriend. As I say, I've really become this watch if OS is looking very different, isn't it?
Mm. I wonder if they're going for like a unified between like watch and headset because
Hmm.
for me like the watch and the headset should work together a lot. Like if you've got something here, it's very useful.
Hmm. Because you're not expecting any watch hardware, of course. It's purely going to be the watch OS.
Hmm.
So
Widgets are coming to Apple
which
Watch.
makes real sense because they need to. Ah, so yeah, you're turning into widgets. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's neat. Because because that is what they need to do. They need to tap into what Apple Watch is best at, and it's just getting information quickly from the watch, isn't it? As you said, you've turned off notifications. You don't want to be getting a load of details on there. You just want the salient points quickly.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
opening apps.
Calls and stuff fine, because then tapping on my wrist for the call or
Yep.
what have you, but texts, no, it drives me absolutely mad.
No, I've never looked one on there at all. I see if one's come in, and if I really want to go, I'll go and grab the phone and look at it on there.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing timers and widgets again. So it'll be interesting to see if this idea about glances comes true. If that's and of course they're doing it in front of a row of bikes at the Apple gym there, but all very neatly framed. So one would imagine after this, it's going to be the big one. One would imagine, because I think they've covered everything then, as far as
I don't know if you can see me, but I've got my fingers crossed.
Interesting, they're showing this on a standard Apple Watch and not an Ultra as well. They're obviously making it so you realise you can use it across the range of watches. It's because if they showed it on the Ultra, it would almost be an exclusive thing, wouldn't it? Or could have been mistaken to be an exclusive. They're showing it on Apple Watch, so they know everyone can use it.
Absolutely. And my guess is there might be something here about Ultra that's exclusive, like, oh,
Yeah.
here's something coming to Ultra. Maybe watch bands?
Nice. So again, they're making live tracking and live data, like with sports results and so on, more front and forward, and tracking too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some new faces.
Nice. Why do you think they don't let you do custom watch faces on Apple
What,
Watch?
third party?
Mm-hmm.
That was something I was listening to another podcast today, and they were talking about third party, and for whatever reason they just seem that they've got it locked down, and they do. I mean, well, we know actually. I wonder if they're going to mention about side loading. They could wait until iPhone event, I suppose, for that, because they don't have to bring it out yet. They're still ahead of it, so there's no reason for them to mention side loading today, and I guess they've got enough other things to get through.
Mm-hmm. Look at the colours as well. Interesting choice. Pink, brown, blue, orange, and lime green. It's different.
The temperature in Sonoma, of course, they're showing Sonoma. Apple, the masters of marketing.
What amazes me is like the more products it's like exponential increase of complexity, because everything works with everything. I just can't imagine what it's like to have to, like, oh, I want to bring up this new feature, and all the team's like, don't do it. It's like 10,000 connection points they need to make to each new feature.
Oh, even when it comes to updates now, it's ridiculous, because I spend so long with, I've got 2 HomePod minis, a HomePod, watch, iPad mini, MacBook Pro, MacBook Air. It just takes forever. Whenever updates come out, it just takes so long to go through, and TV, it takes so long to update everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done like a control panel in your phone where you like update all devices and it shows you the status of that.
Yeah.
Pretty easy
Because
enough
also
to do, right?
the ones for HomePod are particularly painful. They just seem forever to come down. They're really painfully slow.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I were talking briefly last week about firmware updates, weren't we? I don't know if it's the OCD in me, just would like to have some way of knowing that a firmware update has been done. It's just always that thing, you just have to trust when it's plugged in, it's going to do its job.
Yeah. Imagine taking your Apple Watch next to it, and then it's like proximity to the HomePod, and then you can see the info about the HomePod. That would just be so easy.
That would be a really meaningful upgrade, because I just don't trust.
But again, this is another one of those things I think the headset is good for. I know a lot of people won't do that, and Apple Watch is a way to get in that, but look at the headset, look at the product, tap it, air tap it, see its info.
So I said, it looks like I'm going to be possibly wrong about one thing, because I said I thought this event would be about 2 hours 20. I think it'd be quicker than that. I think they're going to keep it to 2 hours, and I would say, looking at the clock, we're going to round out this, and it'd be 45 minutes on the headset.
I thought that last year, but it went on longer than I thought. But let's see.
Yeah, made of my colours to the mast here.
So excited, it's killing me.
It's that near. I know it is that near. I can't believe it as well. All the years you've wanted this, and it gets shown off
10 years I've been
you on
thinking
your
about this
birthday, on your
product,
30th birthday. It's crazy, isn't it?
It's just because I want 3D spatial technologies to happen. Like my mind is spatial. Like I work so much better in these mediums. I think a lot of people will too.
Hmm.
And I just want it to happen. And I know if Apple get kind of almost ensures that it will happen.
Yep.
And that's what excites me the most. But also having incredible hardware, new standards are all going to be fantastic.
That is the thing that they have seen others fail with the AR because they've gone for sort of a not a mediocrity, but they've gone for the everyman. Whereas Apple are quite clearly going for the highest of the best of the best here, and that's I'm sure they're right in thinking that is the way forward. If they show off the very best that AR VR can do, then that's going to make more of a splash and tempt more people to want to get involved with it, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives people best practices as well, and like they always do, they're going to come in with a new gesture system, a new interaction,
Hmm.
and it will basically create like a universal system for developers.
Hmm.
It's going to be annoying if they don't release controllers because almost all VR content requires controllers at the moment, but it's going to
Because you thought they had a controller coming downstream at some point, didn't you?
at the future. I think we'll see hand tracking only. Might see like a clip of the headset, or I even think. I mean, maybe controllers for specific games, but I think what we'll probably see is like finger clips before then that use their taptic technology to add touch
Hmm.
to the 3D world, which I
Hmm.
think will be a massive thing, you know? And it'll be an extension of hand tracking as opposed to a controller.
And again, just looking at this wrist rotation they're working on at the moment, clearly that would work very much into the headset. I saw them there, obviously measuring a golfer's swing and so on, and all of this,
Mhm.
all these engines they're developing to measure your movement is geared towards what we think the headset's going to be integral about, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of reading to do tomorrow morning. I mean, tomorrow's blog is pretty much taken care of. That's not an issue, but I'm going to have a lot of reading to do to catch up on all the detail. There's so much been coming out here.
So much.
Right, is this it then? So we are.
I know this is more about health. You know how they did
Oh, right.
last year,
Yeah.
new health features.
Oh, of course, yes, because it was menstrual cycle and all that kind of thing last year. That was played a big part in that, didn't they?
Yeah. Also, just to go back on that controller thing, me
Mm.
thinking if they're going to be allowing you to use every iPad app on this headset,
Mm-hmm.
then you've already got an input which is touch,
Mm-hmm.
and so if they add a controller, then they might have had to figure out a way to get all previous apps to work with the controller, which might be too tough.
Right. Yeah.
I think just moving forward with hand tracking, although it's going to be annoying for a lot of people, it's probably just the right move.
I remember this lady presenting last year actually on the
Yeah.
health issues. And this is where Watch has made such an impact as a health wearable. They've just complete. I know early on when they released Apple Watch, they didn't really understand quite what they were sitting on, but as it's iterated and developed over the last few years, and it's 9 years old now, and they've really. I mean, this is where it comes into its own, isn't it?
This is very interesting. I mean, basically, they just said like acknowledging what you're feeling right now will help you, which is true. But what that means is that they now have enough data to be able to accurately know what emotional state you're in, which is a massive amount of information. It's also a little bit scary.
Yes, because you know they're gathering that information from essentially tracking you, aren't they?
Yeah. But for instance, it's very interesting for apps and games and things like that because, for instance, imagine you're playing a game and the game can tell that you are not as excited about this point in the game. Maybe
Mm.
it will switch it up and throw you into a more exciting moment, change the
In real
music,
time, yeah.
like change the gameplay so that it's
Mm.
optimal.
Because clearly this and the journaling app fit very much together, don't they? Looking at your mental health, well-being, happiness,
Hmm.
which is clearly the way they're driving the OS this year.
Hmm. Here it comes.
You're just those few moments ahead for me.
I was literally just about to say to you that because you remember how I told you, because they're replacing glasses, they need to be able to address the problems with vision.
Yep.
So that might be how they frame this device. Like, actually, it's because you buy these adaptive glasses, they cost like $7,000. So it's cheap, it's cheaper for people with that.
Because of course that's the other thing with the headset is they've got to have ready these effectively clip-on lenses for glass wearers, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I would have maybe that's to keep it thin, because you can do things with software and moving
so
the lenses.
where would you buy those from? Because if you've got a particular prescription, you would generally go to your optician. So
It's
where?
going it's going to be they'll have like all the different sizings in the store. It's going to be like Apple Watch, you go, you have like this tailored experience, and then they'll like build your kit. Like you know how like Apple Watch, the main part comes in one box and the
Yeah,
strap in another.
yeah.
I imagine they're going to do something similar. So you'll have the battery pack and headset in one, maybe the strap which was sized to you in another,
Mm.
and then the what you call it in the other one,
Lenses.
the lenses in another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Because had heard at one point they were thinking about almost having almost pop-up stores within Apple stores, which is just designated as purely being for
For
Reality
this.
Pro.
Mhm.
Yeah, banging home the privacy thing or privacy. Because you're still a few seconds ahead of me, so I'm going to hear this yelp of excitement. He's like, "Yeah, here it comes!"
I'll stay quiet when I see it.
Okay, so rounding up on WatchOS now. We've had Mac, we've had Watch, we've had
There
iPad
can't
OS.
be anything else here.
No.
Imagine if it's like, and that's it for today. Like, no. That would be a funny meme. And just
But
kidding, that'd be good.
who are we throwing back to, Craig or to Tim?
But see how we framed that as updates.
So that's all the updates on the iOS. God, I'm actually getting sweaty palm now. This is
Yeah,
so
me too.
near.
Check this.
I am actually going to look at our screen when it happens to see what your reaction is, because I want to capture it as well. It is a big year for developers, yes. I think we're about to find that out, how big it is.
Wait. Oh, he's talking about some stuff at the. They're just teasing us now.
Yep. One-on-one labs, yeah, because we know they've got all the developers there. Okay.
Back to Tim. Interesting. Don't screw us, Tim. Please.
Oh, come on.
Oh, he's back on the stage. That's interesting. Look at that.
Right, yep.
Yeah, here it comes. One more thing.
It has been a big day. They did it.
Yes. Here it comes.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
Have you seen it yet?
No.
You're
Here
those
it
few
comes
seconds
though.
ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's it going to look like? What's it going to look like?
Okay. Actually, it looks more like my first ever concept. But
Oh,
also,
right. Okay.
that is, yeah, it's exactly like my first concept. That's bizarre. Okay. They went for Studio Dots. Interesting.
The mesh you've got right. The grills
Oh,
you've got right.
oh, the grill is. I mean, some of them I did. That's so funny.
The crown. Yep.
It is. It is.
They haven't named it yet, have they?
Oh, what the hell is this? And the pass-through is just like I imagined on the first
Hey,
concept.
yes.
Oh my god, that's
It's a single
hilarious!
band. It's a single band. Yo,
I
look at that
can't.
pass
Literally,
through.
the first ever concept I did is hilarious. What the hell is this?
You said Vision. You said
Is it Apple Vision?
Vision Pro.
Yes. I was the only person who said it as well.
Yep. Our very first video back in, I think, January or February, you said that. Wow. What's your first impressions then?
It's not as pretty as I was hoping it would be.
It looked quite bulbous, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks a bit bug-eye. And the strap's weird. Like, how's that going to work with people with hair? I guess it's flexible, but it looks like they're taking a very Meta Quest Pro.
Geez, is that the size of the headband at the back?
Yeah.
So you have got the power connector on the temple, but that is a big whopping headband at the back, isn't it? They haven't shown anybody wearing any headphones yet, have they? You just mentioned spatial, but... Right. Apple Vision Pro. Back at the beginning of the year, you said that.
That is so funny. I mean, I told you, it's an evolution of television.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
To you,
And
that
also,
made complete sense, yeah.
it's replacing glasses. It's vision.
Yep, yep. So now we're going to begin to understand a lot more about it, I guess.
That's so funny. I like because I did it like when the first information sketch came out. I did like, can you like have you seen it on my Behance?
Yes,
And
yeah.
like
When I
even the
first,
front
yeah.
pass through and stuff, I did like a very kind of like gradient. I'm surprised, and I even did a glass cutout on the bottom that
Yeah.
had the camera in, and I thought I changed it so it would be inside the vent, but actually they've gone for that. Should have just kept my original concept.
Right.
You
So,
remember when I told you about how they will track the lighting so they can apply shadows and things
yep.
accurately to the real world?
If this is the kind of experience we're going to be getting, it's going to be insane, isn't it?
It is, but at the same time, like this is spatial platform, right? I'm seeing 2D panels right now, and that drives me nuts. But let's see.
So clearly, they've not made any mentions to what apps it's going to ship with yet, have they?
Mm-mm.
So we're
And this is the meditation thing that they talked about.
be interested to see what they do about showing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is something else you spoke about, environments.
Oh my God, it's bizarrely similar.
That view there looks like one of your renders. And then, yeah, so it can take you into any environment that you want to be in. Which I get, if we're in the middle of a really harsh, bad winter or something, to be able to be taken.
Yeah, so hand tracking, see?
Right.
No controllers. But that is quite big. I really didn't think it would be that big.
It's not as... I've got to say, my first take on it is it's
Wow,
not...
that pass through, and it's just done what I said, by the way, where it's spatial pass through. You saw a head move there, and we saw a different angle. So
Yes,
we were
yeah,
right
yeah, yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically an extension of multi-touch.
And that's being recognised from eye tracking as well, isn't it?
How to say I am
It's not it's not pretty, is it?
no, but this is the challenge, you know. Like I was thinking that, but it's actually a lot bigger, like on the head than I thought, and also
I,
like on the side of the head. Like I find these choices a bit odd, but it kind of seems like they ran into problems they had to fix too late. I don't know.
have you seen any hints of what the power pack is yet?
No, there's the cable running down the left side though.
Yeah, I saw the connector on the left temple. Yeah, yeah. So you can see that cable there, but we just don't know where it's running to. But the fact there's a cable would suggest it's clearly running to somewhere.
Hmm. I see. So you can even see when someone's using an app as well, which is cool. Hmm. The reverse, don't bother me, for instance.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah, cool. I'm so pleased with that. I should have stopped right at the beginning,
I
four
don't think I've
four
seen
years
your very
ago.
early ones, have I?
It's on my Behance. So it's
It's
the
been a long.
form's very similar. Just not the strap, of course.
Yeah.
But that makes me think that they're going to release other straps as well.
But so presumably now they're going on to more.
What's
Okay.
that little thing? Can you see it?
I'm just waiting. I'm still those few seconds behind you.
Is it another connection point for the MagSafe?
Right. So as we thought, it's coming pretty much with all the iPad apps, isn't it?
And also, like I said, it's that watch kind of like on the body makes it super easy to use
Yeah.
interface. So you know how we talked about this is essentially kind of like a monitor replacement at its
Yep.
heart, which is
Yep.
what provides value. This is that.
So you'd be able to use this on day-to-day computing tasks, not obviously
I
heavy
wonder they
processor ones.
haven't mentioned that yet, but I imagine kind of moving between them, computing and things. Resolution, FOV, or anything yet, but if the text is that small, it has to be good.
Because wasn't the latest chat on resolution something like 5,000 ppi?
4,000, yeah, it's like 4K by 4K, which is what we thought it was going
Yeah.
to be. Oh, but actually, it's going to be apparently about 40 ppd, which is a little bit more than we thought.
But you said I haven't gone to any specs about the lenses
If
at all yet,
this,
have they?
yeah, but if this is an image of like the pro, this if this is, I don't know what that is an image of. Is that a camera through a lens? Because if that's a camera through a lens,
Mm.
it's incredible. Like the
Oh, what, how they're capturing this to show us kind of thing, you mean?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
his hand look real there, right? If
Mm.
that's the case, this pass through is going to be insane.
They still haven't shown where the bottom of that power cord goes to, but it must be waist mounted, mustn't it?
But no shoulder strap. But so I'm glad I removed that for the last bit there. I really thought that's what they do, but there will be a case for this for sure. Look at that though. The MagSafe attaches behind the um the ear, which is means that the information must have seen an old one or
Mm-hmm.
wait, 4K display. Should you say? Yeah, there it is. You can use your Mac with it. fantastic.
Wow.
So you can you
Showing
can
the
use
Final Cut editing.
you can use processing from the laptop to make one app, but then an headset-driven app next to it. That is cool as well.
So explain that to me again.
Essentially, it's like multi-processing, so you can have like a laptop-driven app next to a headset-driven
Right.
app.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I find it very interesting that they just put it in the pocket. What about women wearing dresses?
They haven't talked about the power at all yet. If they were hot swapping.
Yeah. But I got the color scheme right.
Yep.
Grey facial interface and white headband.
I still can't get over the size of that headband. It is a chunky boy.
Yeah, it looks a bit gunky, doesn't it?
There's no way of dressing it up. It doesn't look the prettiest. I mean, looking at what they're delivering, it is completely delivering.
Yeah. I mean, this is why I was thinking it is a platform. This is a kind of product.
Again, they haven't talked weight yet either, have they?
Mm.
I wonder if they're going to spend any time talking about its
By the
battery.
way, so we were also, I mean, we heard some rumors that it might be Memoji pass through, but actually it was full
Full.
photoreal, which
Yeah.
means that FaceTime might also be photoreal. Let's see. So interesting. We should just trust our gut, David. Like, I undid so
But
many
we
stuff
can't
because of
do that.
rumors,
We're
but it was,
born to tinker.
yeah, it's wrong.
Even these actors, I'm thinking that
But
the NDAs they must have signed when they were filming this.
yeah,
Oh my word!
yeah. But David, like, if you, for instance, look at the window to the left there with the lighting on the curtain, like,
Yeah,
if
yeah, yeah.
this is through the headset, this is unprecedented, like, quality in terms of,
Detail that it's capturing.
like, I really wonder what it looks like.
How would they be replicating what we're seeing?
Because it has those cameras on the front all the way around your eyes, and then it
Mm.
stitches it together into an image that is from the perspective of your eyes. Because they've got the screen in front of your eyes, they can't put
Right.
cameras directly in front of your eyes. So they do the same thing Meta does, which is to use computer vision and machine learning to stitch together a new
Yep.
view. But you need high enough resolution cameras, and that looks good.
So obviously the audio is going to be coming out from those thicker parts on the headband by the ears. I take it.
Yeah, that's what that little bull part is.
Mm.
Spatial photo there with the button on the left.
Yep. That's
Also, I
neat.
was right, like that it's all the way around and not just at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Find it interesting there, showing it like this around the house. It's not quite as slick as I was hoping for those use cases.
I mean, presumably at some point they're going to,
IMAX quality films coming to
which
the
is something
home.
else you spoke about. You said it was very much media driven, didn't you? That it was absolutely heaven sent.
But I also don't see much, like even the VR immersive element.
Mm-hmm.
When you look to your left, you still saw your room. So that's interesting. There you go. And that was exactly what Like, that's what we'll sell it to
Yeah,
enthusiasts.
that was exactly what you're describing.
Oh, well, at least I'm not crazy, David.
No, you've got
Yeah.
there's a lot of details in here. You've got
Spot
right.
on. Yeah. Until someone walks past you in the aisle and then it picks it up and just shoots it for you. Or the person next to you moves their hand and you just see like a hand coming in your vision. Mm-hmm. I said it. It's so funny. I said Avatar was going to be native 3D in here.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that. They are heavily leading into the media.
And there it is, the MagSafe location I said it was going to be originally. Stop changing my... And the dinosaur coming through the screen. Do it. Do it. Yes! Funny.
Oh man! Oh wow! Wow!
Basketball. There I am. Please, please. Dial it in and get you into a front seat. What? Interesting.
Are they taking you in?
No, that was a video game. But how? You can play a video game on the headset.
Just the start, yeah. Yeah, media's a big thing for them, isn't it? They played heavily onto that.
It's like they've just gone through my Twitter.
You mentioned Walt Disney. You said that in one of our videos this year. You said that they were going to be leading with Walt Disney. You actually mentioned Disney World and Walt Disney.
And I even did that concept of like meeting Buzz at home, you know, in the living room. Or the fireworks display in your own lounge.
That's it, the fireworks, remember you mentioned. Yes, that was it. That was exactly what you mentioned.
But not just that, but that this is a four corner product that linked to like Disney, and it just makes sense.
I mean, we'll round it up after we've heard
Yeah,
all the
this is
details.
it.
But I mean, so
Meeting
far,
characters, that's what he's about to
meeting
say.
the characters, yeah, which is exactly what you said was going to be part of the beauty of this. They were always going to work with Disney, weren't they?
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, Bob Iger and Steve Jobs were very close.
Have they already shown meeting the characters?
No, but this is what it's coming to. But I see. Immersive kind of elements to. Yeah, like if you're a fan of anything, you're going to want to have this product, right?
Yeah.
Like, look at that. Sat watching Mandalorian in a speeder. Sports.
The experience looks...
Although I was wait. Oh yes, there's the holo table. I knew it.
Oh wow.
This is just hilarious.
Wow.
Vindication. There it is.
The characters come to life. For all you Mickey lovers.
Ah, shame. I should have put money on this. I would have been rich.
You mentioned the fireworks, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, this thing's gonna sell like hotcakes. They said they were gonna sell like 300,000 units. No, I think it's gonna be over 1 million.
In the first year.
I think it's coming out Christmas probably. I
'Cause-
have to say, it's a bit more kind of like flat. I thought it was going to go deeper, but maybe that will be future products like workflow. You know.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the details I'd like to hear about are the weight, the power pack. If they go some spec on the lenses, I know that will be made available pretty quickly, but it, I don't know if they're going to do a summary at the end, like they often do with a splash screen of all the different elements of it.
Are we going to hear some ID? Yeah, cool. Yes. Now this is this part, but I can't believe that. Like, my God, almost everything I
You'll be
said
digging
was
it
going
out
to
and
be
putting it on
there.
Twitter later, I take it, with your visuals.
Hmm.
Is the gasket, the seal, bigger than you thought?
I mean, the whole thing's much bigger than I thought.
Right.
Its thickness on the front is about where I thought,
Mm-hmm.
but massive. They have to
So it's
use AI though to do image correction because it warps the image. It's the glass is much more curved on the front than I thought,
mm-hmm.
like in terms of how it drips off. But the vents on the top there, why didn't it do the same vents on the bottom? I don't know, but oh, my first concept was right on the bottom. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's the first time we've seen the inside of it, isn't it?
Dude, I need to send you some of the old stuff I did. It's like exactly this. This is weird.
Wow. They haven't mentioned how many sensors and cameras, have they?
But they've only done two vents on the top there. I think that's odd. Also, that doesn't look very cool because VR headsets are very warm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, modular system, so it fits you perfect. Light seal,
Right, yep, yep.
even terminology. But can you see how that light seal has sensors inside there as
Indeed,
well,
yeah, 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 yeah.
and cooling?
How easy would they be to clean?
Audio pods, not very.
Right, yep. They've got to talk about the power source, surely.
Yeah, yeah, it's coming. Well, none of us saw this strap coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
magnetic clip-on.
So that's where the prescription goes.
All day use. 2 hours use. There it is.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yep.
Where's the accessories to put the battery pack somewhere though? I wonder.
Because at the moment they're just showing the battery pack by itself, aren't they?
Hmm. And also much more round. Like it's so funny, so funny. Like I thought it'd be white plastic. That I did get wrong.
Yeah.
Getting tagged on Twitter here, people saying like, Marcus called the name.
Just had a quick flick over at Twitter.
Displays. Honestly, I'm going to show you my old concept, like the first, it is that image. Wow. Eye tracking
Oof.
on below the lenses there. Mm-hmm.
It is going to be super bright as well, isn't it? Super, super bright.
Mm-hmm. Are they going to give the so you can so it's 4K. Like you can watch a 4K video basically,
Mm-hmm.
not 8K, but 4K native it said. Okay, so no FOV, but we saw the pixel count of the screens. Also, what was interesting is they put them horizontally. That was obviously to give them the FOV, but actually, our eyes, in the future products, it's better if you put them vertical.
Mm-hmm. So they're covering the audio now more depth, aren't they?
Yeah, so it does have good integrated spatial audio. What if they like allow you to just get, say you want to use AirPods and you just want to have a really simple band? I wonder if they're going to have something like that. That's amazing, yeah. So basically it scans your room and it also calculates like how the audio bounces around the room.
Similar to how the HomePod works, because that's supposed to detect your room and where you've got it positioned.
Those downward cameras are exactly how I did them on the first one. That is unbelievably funny.
Is that where you thought the LED illuminators would be?
Yeah, eye tracking. It's a
Yep.
must because also that's how you do the front pass through.
Of course, yeah.
You need the images of your eyes.
So will you
Yeah.
order the main part,
M2 and A17. You're gonna see.
which is what we said, yeah.
Yeah.
And would you order the headset with your prescription then?
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Hmm. So this is an A17 rebranded as R1 basically.
Yeah, because I mean, we were saying last week that it was going to have those two chips on. And okay, we would call it A17, but
All the mics are on the bottom. Oh, it's so beautiful to see the inside.
again, and when they're going to begin talking about availability, man alive, that is a thing of beauty inside, isn't it?
Lenticular lens. There it is.
Yep.
I'm just amazed. Like my first visual looks exactly like that. That is bizarre, David.
Yeah, because you mentioned that last week, the whole the lenticular idea and the fact that if you're looking from different angles, Apple Vision Pro then it's actually now a real thing.
See, I told you it uses the sensors on the front to scan your own face. There it is.
There it is. Ah, so right, yeah. So you actually use the head Vision
And it
Pro itself.
also, you can use the screen on the front there to guide you through the process. And they've managed to do the photoreal. Damn, that's bizarre.
Wow.
And it's spatial.
Oh.
Now you're going to have to get one as well, David, so we can chat.
Yeah, of course, yeah, that's going to happen.
So not Reality OS. I tried to hammer this in, like, and
What
I
they
was
called it?
Vision OS.
Vision OS.
Yeah, because I told you calling it Reality OS is so against what Apple do. Like they don't want to pull you away from reality.
We have got that on video. We have definitely got that on video somewhere. So now
Okay, this is very cool. Foveated rendering. To see that in a headset like this is amazing.
What is foveated rendering?
You can see exactly where the eye is looking, and then you just do the majority of processing in that area, and around the eye you can then drop down the graphics level, and it like drops your processing requirements by like 90%. You need it when you've got two 4K screens, multiple sensors, all of these things happening. You need a device as efficient as possible. And for the future as well, when we get to crazy resolutions, foveated rendering is an absolute must. It's not possible to have a device that will do all that level of processing with 8K per eye and things.
You have. Nearly a decade in the making, right?
Mm-hmm. And I imagine that they're going to say, like, you can take your Unity projects and in a click turn them into a spatial app, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Nice. Okay, so proper spatial apps are coming. I don't really have the money for this, but I'm gonna have to find the money for this because I can't not have this. I can't. It's a must. Like even if I want to start developing my own apps, I need this. I
Yeah,
need
of
it
course.
now.
Of course.
Anyone in chat, by the way, have they said anything? Oh, we quiet still.
No, it's quiet, but I'm hoping it might pick up a little bit. You can never tell with live streams, can you?
With
Who's
this,
going to join in?
I think it's so like maybe people might come later.
And also, it's
or
there
like
to watch
after.
afterwards as well.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get your take on it before we let you go of what you heard. And what can almost feel is a follow-up video maybe later in the week when you had time to assimilate it.
Mm. When my dreams stop being about the headset.
And then also we can find your original renders and put those in the video as well. They're going to rely very heavily on the developers now, aren't they? Now they're giving them this.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yep, which is what we thought. iPad OS. So I can use Adobe Lightroom now. I can make my thumbnails on Vision Pro.
You could. Can I send you text in here or no?
You can on Riverside.
Yeah?
I've got my phone on airplane at the moment. I've got the chat open in Riverside.
There, I sent you an email.
On email, yeah.
Yeah. Come on. There you go.
Because again, I was just thinking there, working in, say, Adobe Photoshop or Lightroom on that kind of resolution screen right in front of your eyes, the detail that you're going to be getting to be able to edit with.
It's going to be good. I mean, I'm curious to see what color replication and stuff is like when it comes to that. But my guess is it'll probably be on par with the Studio display, but not the Apple XDR display.
Yeah.
But I sent you a link to the old concept in your email. There.
Okay. Yep. Yep. I've got it. Yep.
Optic ID, yeah. So basically using new retinas.
They're obviously going to play heavily into the privacy and security part. Oh, okay.
And it's not just that. It's like you put on the headset and it just logs you in. Like you don't even have to. You know what I mean? It's all your apps appear. You set up whatever.
How solid do you anticipate it being from day one when it lands from an OS point of view?
Where you look stays private. That's interesting. That's great to know, by the way. Oh no. Are you there, David?
Yeah. I'm here. Yeah. I was just watching. Yep.
Apparently, don't know why.
No, I'm still very much with you.
My stream stopped. Don't do this to me.
Hear you absolutely fine and see you.
But you're watching the stream still.
Yeah. Oh, your stream of Apple's gone.
Yeah.
No, I've still got mine. That's all good.
No worries. You can tell me what's happening. Okay, I'm back.
You're back. So presumably they're going to begin to summarise about when.
I've read them all. It's going to tell you about the patents in a sec.
Yeah, I know. When I always get this email from you, have you seen Patently Apple today?
Yeah, it's my favorite Twitter channel.
Yeah, I'm just catching up with you now. The 5,000 patents.
I like how they've done this though. It feels like magic, which is exactly how it should be.
Yeah, there needed to be that wow factor, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. It feels a bit Harry Potter-ish, you know? Mm-hmm. Like I love that.
Yeah, that's really a good shout. I totally see what you mean.
Oof.
Have you just landed? I'm just listening as well now.
Oh God, I can't do that. That's too much money.
Starts 35.
Which is like, what's going to cost more money? But yeah, see, Apple Watch experience, like similar experience.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, look, it's not, but it's still a hyper.
Nice to be with us.
It's still a hyper advanced device that's providing a lot of the utility we wanted. Maybe not the advanced workflow stuff, but still, almost all of the points we talked about seeing, it's here.
Yeah. So Tim will round out on this now, I guess, will he? They've managed to keep it to just over 2 hours. So they've done a hell of a lot quickly. So we're kind of on the wrap up now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So, before we let you go then, this is the
Yes.
bit. What really has been your takeaway then? Where they struck home? Where do you think they've missed slightly? What's your take on it?
Well, so one big thing is what we didn't see there was too much about gaming. Did you see anything about gaming
No,
there?
they didn't mention it.
Interesting, right? Or iPad apps on there.
They said
So,
iPad apps are going to ship with it.
okay,
They
but no,
said
they
that.
said that, or
Yeah, yeah,
other
they
people
said
said
that
that.
towards the
Oh,
end.
okay, I didn't catch that
I
bit,
know you
but
caught a bit, lost a bit of the stream.
so
Yeah.
there's no gaming in there, which
No.
is also makes sense because you don't have controllers. But it's
Mhm.
definitely focused on becoming a new computer, which I think is the right way to go with it.
Mhm.
Oh, with that, he's showing us something with Apple Pro. One sec.
Okay. Just going. Yeah, because it.
Like, what about text input? We haven't seen too much of that.
No, haven't seen anything about that. That pass through is crazy.
Hmm. If that, I mean, I wonder, is this real in camera or what? I don't know. Could be trickery.
Do you think the gestures will work as seamlessly as that?
I hope so. I mean, Apple won't release this until it does, but
Mm.
I don't think this is realistic in terms of like people are going to be wearing headsets all the time.
Mhm.
Like, if you get a Face ID call, it's unlikely you're going to grab the headset to put it on to accept it. You're just going to grab your phone and accept it, you know? So this is why it needed to be like super easy to wear and stuff. Interesting. I think there's still quite a bit for us to know, but it basically they're taking this. It's an external monitor
Yep.
that can do spatial elements. They're focusing on entertainment, um, external monitor. No gaming, it seems at the moment. Maybe that will come in the future.
I know they were showing somebody wearing AirPods.
While they had the headset on.
Yeah, yeah. She was on a plane. She had AirPods Pro on.
Hmm. Okay, cool. So early next year it's coming out.
That's right. Early next year.
They
Yep.
showed the price, but no pre-orders starting today. I think they're probably.
Yeah, because
This
price
makes
is
me
from
think.
3,500, isn't it?
Yeah, this makes me think it really could be a developer-focused device to start. But at the same time, if they're saying Disney Plus and things like that are coming out with it right out the get-go, then they do
Mhm.
intend this for consumers. But the technology looks super impressive. It's right along the lines of what we thought in terms of visual acuity. It'd be interesting to see what they say about FOV. But it looks like they've got some really crazy optics going on there, so it wouldn't surprise me if they've managed to get that 120 that's been advertised.
Mhm.
Um, it's a bit bigger, a bit more clunky than we had hoped
Yeah,
or
it's not
heard. I
pretty.
mean,
That's the one thing that I will take away from it.
yeah, I mean, it depends. I find it interesting and a bit pretty, but at the same time, for me, it's kind of strays away a little bit from what Apple had done, especially that back part. Like, I get why they've done it for like cooling or whatever,
Yep.
but it does seem a bit funky and it's a bit big. Like, for instance, the Quest Pro seems smaller than that, you know, or the HoloLens. So
Arena's just
it's
said she's buying
interesting.
one. He, she,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I still want one. Like, that price is crazy, but I still
It's the
really want
top
one.
end of what everyone was saying, isn't it? It's the top end.
Yeah, it's the major top end. I mean, what it seems like it's like a 2 to 2.5, like maybe 2.5 to make it, and then they're like selling it at a bit of a profit. I don't know,
Mhm.
but that's going to be a tough pillow for a lot of people to swallow for something that does this and doesn't have the gaming. Like, for instance, the current VR market probably won't go for it, like
Because it's
because
not
it doesn't
leaning into
have
the
the
gaming
gaming.
enough.
Yeah, yeah, it doesn't have that, and I know a lot of people were basically in the VR were hoping that this was basically like a really advanced VR headset that would do all the things that they've been doing previously.
Yep.
Well, what it seems like is It's Apple's kind of new platform. Like this is spatial. Like we want to show people what spatial is. It's a bit more like HoloLens or Magic Leap than it is like the other VR headsets we've been seeing. There was also not so much about kind of completely immersive experiences. They talked a bit about it, but I didn't see too much, where we they were focused on AR as opposed to VR. They want to keep people in reality. So that's interesting. I mean, you had those spatial environments and stuff. But overall, I think it looks very, very exciting. I'm a little bit amazed by how much we were able to call the names, the experiences you'll be having on there, how it's going to work, even the position of vents and cameras and sensors and pass-through. I think we did a great job.
Yeah, I'm just seeing in the chat. Now, chat's coming to live now. The event's finished, which was almost going to happen. So yeah, TVs are dead. Arena's just said, and
yeah,
YYZ. Zatchboy has just said, I was surprised that there was there was so little on gaming and VR, frankly. It seemed to just be an AR device.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what...
Yeah, it is what they said that they were going to be focusing on. And I think moving forward, that will, maybe they'll just completely ignore that side of things, or they'll want people to focus on gaming within the AR space because they think it's safer or
so Sassboy, you just mentioned that you were surprised it had so little gaming on there. Are you tempted with it? Have they shown you enough today that they've made you think, yeah, I want some of this? Because that's what they really needed to do today, wasn't it? Sell it hard to make people want to get those orders in. I mean, they didn't make any mention of when pre-orders were going to be available. All they said was, I know this afternoon when I was on, there was people saying it would be available hopefully around October time this year. They've gone for early next year, so they're clearly giving people a lot of time, the developers as much time as possible to get ready, aren't they?
Yeah.
And then an AR device can be had with a lot smaller footprint and at a lower price. Was that your take, Marcus?
Yes and no. So AR devices right now, the FOV is much smaller and the kind of visual acuity is much less. In order to have that amount of pixels over that amount of FOV, pass-through is the best way to do that right now. And it will just improve as time goes on in terms of how good those screen get, and also brightness and things. Basically, in terms of if you want something that can give you something that looks like you've got digital assets in reality, then using pass-through is absolutely the best way to do that right now. You can get a good experience with a pair of AR glasses that will give you something similar, but it's not going to give you that kind of real feeling yet. I think that technology is still 5 years away, and kind of proof of that is part in the fact of Apple choosing to use this technology as opposed to AR, right? Because they ultimately want to do glasses.
Yep.
So if they decided to choose this technology, it means that they see it as a better path in the short term.
And I've just seen Zatchboy, who's obviously in Canada, said, yeah, the price is an issue. At $3,500 US, that's like 5,000 Canadian.
Yeah, and in Europe as well, they won't discount it with the taxes and everything. It will be 3,500, pounds or euros,
and
or
I'm
even
make
more.
A terrible mistake of this first name, but I'll call you by your surname, Malik. Forgive me, I haven't got a chance with your first name. Saying, how will the device connect?
Connect to what?
Because in the stream they had it on wire, so I'm assuming they're talking about. Yeah, so they talk about the actual connector on the side of the headset, I guess.
So it looked like it was kind of like a half MagSafe, half physical connection, which we talked about basically because you need metal to metal contact in order to pass that power through. So it looks like it's a MagSafe that clicks into this part of your head,
yep.
And then you twist it up to kind of lock it into place. But what I imagine is with enough force, it will pop off just like the MacBook charger does. If you apply force in one direction, which is I don't know, if the cable gets yanked, it will pop off, I imagine.
Yep.
But the twist on is probably so that in your more active moments, it doesn't come off by itself.
But presumably if it did disconnect, it would have that hot swap ability, wouldn't it? So
they didn't. Yeah, they did talk about that, but I imagine that there is an onboard battery like we spoke about. That is kind of, will do handoff and turning on and off, because I imagine you're probably only going to connect that power cable once it's on your head.
And Zach Boys just said, are we right in thinking it won't work with Windows?
Yeah, right now there's absolutely no talk of it working with Windows, although it did seem like it was really seamless with the Mac there in terms of how it's going to be working, but uh, no, there was absolutely no mention of that.
Because I know last week on our video last week, you were sort of saying that, yeah, in your dreams it would work with Windows, but you didn't really honestly think it was going to, did you?
No, because like when I think about it now, it doesn't make sense, because you would have to figure out a way to get all of those apps to work within here. I mean, maybe it could just be an external monitor, and then you can. That would be great. I don't know. They could maybe sell a lot more devices if they did that. Like that's what they were going to do, but maybe
I
it'll
just
change.
saw that Arena made a point about a TV that's 110 inches, 8K like that would cost you over 30,000, which is valid.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
also, yep,
absolutely.
Zach Boys just said no mention of any ports. Didn't see USB-C.
No, I didn't see USB-C on there. That is a great point, which is what part of what I was saying before. It doesn't make any sense to have that, right? But I mean, maybe they put the USB-C in that top vent, maybe like slide it in, but that would be very un-Apple. But yeah, like I said, if it's charging off this battery pack, you don't really need
So
USB-C.
updates would just be over the air then.
I guess so. I guess so. But like, I feel like there was a lot that wasn't talked about yet in
Hmm.
this. I think there's more to come basically about this headset. Maybe it's going to come out in mini videos over the next couple of days, but it seemed like there's still a lot missing. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be a lot of follow up from this now. I dare say you and I probably jump back on. I mean, the chat is beginning to really pick up now. It's kind of, we thought everyone was sitting watching the stream, and the minute the stream finishes, people are sort of looking to get involved and get your opinion on it as well. Um,
Well,
and
I've got another. Also, if you want to
yep,
fire any more questions across, please do.
they did say that you could use it plugged in, so presumably USB-C to whatever they call the plug, and you can use a
But
battery or power adapter.
But what I think they meant by you can use it plugged in is like you plug it into the battery pack.
Mm. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. So they didn't mention swapping out at all, did they? Or how long?
No.
Did they mention how
Yeah,
long
like
it's?
all of this. But that I mean, you could be right. Maybe there's like a USB-C to Reality Pro MagSafe. But again, think about that in terms of
Oh
use
yeah,
case.
yeah,
If you've got a cable into your laptop and then something magnetic stand up from my computer, I'm just going to yank my laptop off the desk, and
yeah.
that won't be what they want to do. So I imagine it will be um, wireless. Just trying to get the chat up here.
Yeah. Um, oh, all day power plugged in. And oh, did they say no? They, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they did.
Thank you, Zach. Well, yeah, because I could only have half an hour on it. I've got a lot of full catching up to do. I know Marcus will have to leave us sometime, but if you want to join me, I'm going over to Mac Rumors Twitter Spaces after this as well. They've asked me to go on there, so you'll be able to find them if you want to carry on this chat when we finish. And I dare say, Marcus and I haven't had a chance to chat yet, but I think there's a very good chance we'll probably be putting together a thoughts video for later. Have you got time to do that this week, Marcus?
I do indeed. I've
Yep,
booked
so
some
we'll be
time
putting
off
together a
work
video
until Friday.
where we could even do it as a live, possibly. We'll see if the guys fancy like us having a chat live rather than a recorded video. But anyway, we'll definitely be doing something after Marcus has had a chance to assimilate all of what's gone on today. And
Yeah, but
I'll call you Joe. I'll call you Joe. Thank you. Thank you for helping me out with your name. I'll definitely call you Joe. And thank you for getting busy on the chat as well. It's great having you here.
okay, great. I can see the chat now.
Yeah, so you can see the questions that have been coming through. I mean, suddenly, as I say, as
All
soon as the
day power
comments...
plugged in and 2 hours on the battery pack. That's
Yeah, I didn't hear
very
that.
interesting.
I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
I didn't hear that either. I wonder how that's going to work. I guess tonight I'm going to be rewatching this.
Never
This
have you wanted to go out for a birthday meal so little.
I know, right? YYZ
Oh,
to C.
yeah, so I think we're calling him Joe. That's what we're calling him.
To C boy. Okay, Joe. Joe it is, Joe. Let's see what else here.
So if there's anything else you want to ask Marcus, now is a good time to get your questions in. So So we'll be going over to Twitter, and Marcus and I will be getting back later.
But that was great. I thoroughly enjoyed that, and it
Yes,
was
as
just
our first live experience, and this only came to mind yesterday evening. Until yesterday evening, Marcus and I were going to start recording something about now, and then I said to him
yes,
today, "Things have changed, birthday boy. We're going to do it live." And he didn't bat
yeah.
an eyelid, and the tech held up, and we did it. So
It's been
now
great.
I've done
Yeah.
it
So
once.
also massive shout out to Riverside because that is fantastic that they
Yeah,
have
because things
technology
are
that's
busy
worked
today,
really
and they've
well.
done they were really helpful to me this morning as well because I had a load of questions. I did a test last night that was awful quality, and no one's mentioned the quality, so I'm guessing we're kind of okay.
Oh,
Um,
thanks, Joe. That's very kind of
yeah,
you.
he's wished you a happy birthday. Yeah, we're going to
That
let
was the
Joan eat his
best
birthday
30th
cake in a
birthday
minute.
present.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine? He's waited for all this time, and it's announced on his birthday. So yeah, it really could be better
Bizarre.
timing. So I'm guessing now is probably a fairly good time to wrap things up. Then, would you say?
Yep, I think so. I think that has been fantastic. I think they're demoing the headsets they might want. Ah, yeah, I think you're absolutely right,
Yeah,
Joe.
Joe's is into this stuff. He knows his info, doesn't he, Joe?
Yeah, he's right. We're probably going to see some specs trickle in and out from other devs. But what I think is really interesting is we're going to basically hear from them like first
Mm-hmm.
count instead of exactly numbers. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be emotional, what you call it, points of view from them essentially. Like the screens are incredible. It's so bright. It's so colorful. Like I can't see any screen door. Like we're gonna get hyped up by the way that people talk about this product because they won't have numbers to talk about.
Joe's just said that he reckons Zuckerberg must be having a meltdown at the moment.
I think he's probably losing his plot right now. Yeah, because essentially this was exactly the space that Quest Pro was meant to go.
This is
Like
what he
this is what
wanted.
Quest Pro should have been, and this is the product. Like that level of fidelity, that level of use, that partnerships with Disney.
And
That really is.
this is the other point we were making, wasn't it? Over the last week or so, we said they above
Thank
everybody
you,
else, have got the
Arena.
full infrastructure to make all of this happen. They've got everything in place. They've got all the platforms in place. They've got sport. They've got music. They've got media. They've got movies. They've got every. That's why if anyone was going to make this work, it was going to be them.
Yeah, yeah. It's a connected product, and that's what you need. And basically,
Yeah, it's great
for
putting a
me,
connected product. It really is, isn't it? It's an end-to-end kind of thing.
yeah, and it basically, like for me, the reason it took 10 years to make is because you need all of these things for it to exist, and then
Mm-hmm.
Apple have slowly been building that up. And I don't think there's any other way that Apple could have gone in terms of a product.
Mm.
Like this is the logical kind of endpoint for hardware for Apple. Like if they make a pair of glasses and say a couple more body-mounted stuff that then connect to the web for processing or whatever, that's it. That's basically just products that lead you into their services and other people's services. So for instance, it makes sense for Disney to help advertise this product because it brings more people to Disney Plus. So
Yep. And Joe's
yeah.
just saying people are going to need to get to grips with what you can do now. Yeah, that's very true. We're all trying to take this in now. So I expect we'll get a lot more in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The
The,
price, I
the,
know. Yeah, for you in Canada, for us in the UK, it's not a pretty price point. I know we were kind of warned, and there was no surprises there. There was some talk last week. Maybe they'd shock us and come in really keen on it and just go as a
mhm,
loss leader.
mhm.
We know they're not making money on it, even at 3.5. I mean, again, if you watch our video we put up last week, Marcus gave you a full breakdown where he thought the cost of the unit was about 1,600 US, and that's where we were coming out to the price of 3.5 with their sort of times two markup that they always do.
Mm-hmm.
And Disney has sports, yeah, very true, Joe. Yeah,
Yeah, they do. They have all of these things. Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit like I
yeah,
need
mind
some
blown.
time to process this. I'm not even sure how to organize my thoughts. But the main thing is I think there's a lot of information yet to come out, and that's what I was going to say. I was going to say actually I think a lot of even though there was a lot of VR people who were worried what was going to happen or they were hopeful.
Mm,
I think it's interesting because I think now there's still going to be this market for super high end or very specific VR headsets for gaming.
mm-hmm.
And for instance, Quest is not going to lose out on that immersive gaming from Meta. They're still going to have that. Or for instance, Big Screen, who just brought out this brand new super light headset. There's absolutely places in the market for them now, which I think is great because I think it's going to drive innovation across the board. But I know I bet you that there are a lot of people in VR hardware right now who are going, "Whoo, okay, like we're we're
Yeah,
safe."
There's going to be a lot of people drawing breath right now, aren't there? And particularly the developers, now they've seen what they've got to work with. They know what is kind of expected from them. And they have given themselves a good lead. They're clearly not rushing to get this out now. We've all seen it. Early next year is when it's coming out. And, January, February, I guess, is when we're expecting to see it now. So they've given themselves a good 6 months to get everything arranged as they really need it.
Yeah. The one that is that we hadn't seen more information on input and text and things like this, because we saw this and we saw that, but there are so many more interactions that you do with a computer than this. And I feel like I know a lot of developers are going to be going, how do we do this? Like, what's going on? Like, what's this? And then they're all going to find out now. And I think maybe it's a bit too complicated to get into in that video, and they just wanted to do the top level stuff like we thought they would. But that's what I'm most interested to hear.
And Joe's just mentioned about the dev kits, saying it'd be hard without hardware. You and I were talking earlier on, weren't we? And we think there's hardware ready for developers, if nothing else, at the moment.
So, I remember there was like this old developer scheme where you could sign up to get the headset early, but you still had to pay, but you paid a reduced price. I imagine it's going to be something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But you're going to be able to sign up as a developer to get some of these units early. You're still going to have to pay, but at a discount, maybe before Christmas, and then that will give you some time to get your apps in shape, ready for a consumer release early next year.
Okay, well, I think we'll wrap things up now here, shall we?
Yes, and I just want to say thank you to everyone in chat for
really
asking us some questions. That was nice,
And we will be back with some sort of collective thought. I'll round up with Marcus when he's had time to make some notes and get a cohesive thought. I can imagine his mind is absolutely buzzing at the moment.
Yeah,
but hopefully by the weekend, if we've had a chance to really assimilate all the information, Marcus and I will sit down and chat some more. So we'll get something out.
I kind of just want to go on the Mac Rumors now and chat with the guys about what's been happening. But I know you're gonna do a fantastic job, David, to speak for the both of us. All right.
I'm going to take 5. I'm going to freshen up a little bit, and then I'm going to jump onto Twitter Spaces. But
you can basically. Thank you. Yeah, you can basically go in there and be like, "I told you so."
Yeah.
The name.
Can I download that link you sent me? Can I put that out there?
Yeah, I mean, you
it's on your
can
anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, you can just say. I mean, it's about the future.
Your early
stuff,
ones. If you go and look at Marcus's Behance page, you'll see he was right with his very first renders.
You should have left it there. Perfect. It's been a pleasure, David. Thank you very much.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much indeed. It's our first live stream together. It's been a blast, really has. It won't be our last. We'll be doing some more, and let us know if you'd rather us do a live reaction later in the week rather than recorded video. I'm sure Marcus and I can work something out. So if you go over onto my page and leave a post there on it, I put a post up anyway about this. You can always leave a message there saying you'd like us to go live so you guys can interact with us more, which I think would be an interesting thing to do actually. So if you want us to do that later in the week, we can do that. And everybody that's been involved with it, thank you so much. And
see you next time.
Malik saying, wait, have you got a question?
Yes,
what's he saying? I don't know if he's seen something since we've been talking. At 4:39, what was it? 4:39. What's he mean, 4:39? Malik,
I guess
we're just about to wrap things up.
Maybe he means like 4:39 on the Apple. No, yes, because maybe he's talking about like the old. No, because. No. So it's connected to a battery pack, an external battery pack. Right. Through a MagSafe connector, maybe that's why. But maybe I need to go back over. Maybe it was cabled to an iPhone. I didn't see that, but that's very interesting.
Okay, so 4:39. We need to look at something. So that's 4:39 on the video. Okay, I'll go back and check them. Okay, Malik, thank you for that. Right, we've definitely got to let him go now. It is his birthday after all said and done.
Yes, got to go get some wine in me.
Yeah, you go and do that. Enjoy one from me, and I'm going to freshen up, get a drink of water, maybe a quick bite to eat, and then I'll be over on Twitter Spaces. And Marcus and I will be back later in the week. So, guys, thank you ever so much indeed. Marcus,
thank you so much.
Cheers, mate.
See you later, David.
Bye-bye.